What is up, fellow humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to another test hand video for Code Talkers. I have not done a test hand video for the new build version 2.0, my official second iteration of the deck. And so today I wanted to finally get that out to you. We did the basic combo tutorial on Charles's channel. We have the deck profile up probably like 2 weeks ago, but I finally wanted to get you a test hands video because things are a little bit different. I am playing a couple different techs which allow you to do slightly different things when it comes to, you know, just going through your plays, different options for playing through disruption and stuff like that. So again, we're probably going to do 4 or 5 test hands, just see how they go. This is our first hand here. You saw me power shuffling here. And yeah. Okay, so no real starter in this hand, which is very surprising because we play a million of them. But that is okay because we have like hellacious amounts of extenders here. So we're just going to go for a simple setup here. One thing I really like, and this is going to be something I'm going to show you here with Foolish Burial. We have no normal summon, so our Sigma 100% is just going to be our normal summon because then he also comes back. No, wait, hold on. Because I need to clear that zone up. But I don't think... let me think here. Okay, so we're going to go normal summon Sigma. Ooh, this is not as simple as I thought it was originally. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's definitely not the end of the world no matter what. At least we get to just keep the Sigma around at least. Like, that's what we're looking at here. So we're going to link off the Sigma for Baylinks. We'll use Baylinks to search. Guys, I implore you to always try to clear the Sanctuary out of your deck turn 1. That way you never risk the chance of top decking Sanctuary on turn 2, because that's just awful. Then we're gonna immediately activate Monster Reborn. Unfortunately for Sigma, because he's the only monster in hand, we don't have a way to like clear out our extra monster because we're a link-based deck at the moment. Usually he's a great extender. This is just an awkward hand, and I like seeing awkward hands in the test hand videos because it allows us to you know, really piece together what we can do with even like awkward, you know, situations. So we're gonna Monster Reborn the Sigma. Seems a little bit subpar, but trust me, we need it that way. I'm gonna Foolish Burial, and we are going to send something particular. We're not even sending an extender here, which is also really funny. Some people might be surprised by that. We're gonna send the microcoder because we're just gonna try and set up like hellacious, a couple of powerful disruptions here. So we'll send the microcoder. From here, we'll make the Mathmic Sigma and the Sigma and the Baylinks into Splash Mage. Splash Mage, we're going to use his effect targeting the microcoder, as you can see. Now, Splash Mage negates the coder's effect on field, but it does not negate the effect that would trigger in grave. So from here, we're going to link these two into a... where's he at? Transcode Talker. That's going to trigger our microcoder to get a search, and surprise, surprise. I mean, you could go for a Signet Mining here. I don't even hate that option at all because it gives us the potential to find a better extender like Generator, which would get us to at least like Firewall transcode. But I think we're already... we do have the Sanctuary. Maybe that is better. Oh man, maybe that is straight up better. Because otherwise we can't go any further than Splash Mage. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I think that's actually better in this hand. So you could just go for the Signet Conflict here. The only problem is we don't have anything to co-link with Transcode, so we're not going to have targeting protection. We're not going to have the buff there, unfortunately. And so that kind of puts us in a little bit of a pickle. So I'm going to go for the Mining here. We're just going to use Mining. We're going to pitch the Sanctuary, and that's going to get us access to our other good extender, Generator. And at this point, you could even argue that, like, why even go through microcoder? You could have just gone for Generator in the first place. That's debatable for sure. But I even think actually, like, if I get it here, it's actually better because I don't think you get the Firewall. I think you just get to Xcode. So, like, what's better? Xcode, but keeping the Sanctuary in hand, or Firewall, not keeping it in hand? So I think this is just better We're going to use transcode's effect, targeting Splash Mage, of course. Then we're going to use code generator and Splash Mage for, I would say Xcode, but what's really the point? Is that really a point? Whatever. We'll make Xcode here. There, then we'll use Xcode. We'll try and lock a zone. It won't matter though, because we'll leave the field. And then we will send Dotscaper off of generator, summon him there, and then we'll take these two into the Firewall Dragon. So this was, keep in mind guys, this was like a hellaciously awkward hand. Even if you get hand trapped like early on, which I don't know what you get hand trapped on, because all we used here, like like Ghost Spell I guess is pretty good on like Splash Mage. But other than that, like Ashable was like Foolish Burial was Ashable, or the Microcoder, fine. We still end on transcode for like, so we would just end on Splash Mage and transcode and then just set double Solemn Strike. But here we have a bounce and double Solemn Strike. This is a really, really, really subpar hand, guys. I cannot iterate that enough to you. But we still have Mathmech Sigma engraved, so if our board does get broken, we do still have an immediate free body on field, and we've got, these are both untargetable and buffed by 500. So 2,800, 3,000. So we've got 5,800 damage, double Solemn Strike, and a bounce. I mean, it's not bad. I think considering we play like a bunch of normal, like how many normal summons, including Signet Mining, we play, I think, certifiably you could say, like even including like pseudo normal summons as well, you could say we play 16. I think you could argue we play 16 normal summons. Some of them are pseudo normal summons, some are real normal summons, but we drew none. But we drew extenders and trap cards, and that's what I like about this version of the deck, is you don't have to see full gas all the time. You don't have to extra link your opponent. You don't have to go ham every single time, but you can still put up a decent little situation. So we'll do a quick power shuffle here, or well, power shuffle. I'm just gonna shuffle real quick. I don't want to do a whole ass shuffle thing. That should be pretty good. I'm not, we're on a, we got a time limit here. All right, let's draw this hand out. All right, again, no starter, but like mining is a starter. And we have mining plus spinning, which is pretty decent. It's not amazing if our mining gets stopped, of course, but what are you gonna do? You gotta make the best of your hands. Luckily, the reason, like this is the way the deck plays, right? If you draw a hand that loses to one hand trap, like we're gonna go mining, pitch spinning. That is the obvious play. That is always the play here. Probably, well, yeah, I think this is probably the correct play. We just have so much defense in the hand. So if we get ashed here, it's very simple, right? We just have like 3 cards here that like are going to be pretty good just to slow our opponent down here. Ideally, we want to Phantasme before having to Dynamiscus. That way we can draw better stuff to pitch off Dynamiscus, but that's fine. And then Spinny's still engraved. So we probably won't even revive the Spinny here if we get ashed. We'll just leave it for next turn. Why even summon the Spinny? We're not going anywhere with it. The only argument would be to make a Balinx so that we could search Sanctuary, and then Sanctuary is your free discard off Dynamiscus, or an extra card you get to put back off Phantasme. So that's the argument there, but I don't know. He does help us play through Disruption going forward. So let's say we do resolve just for the sake of, life and all that. So we'll grab, because we have an extender, we definitely grab Debug here, and we're gonna do the Debug play. We will just normal summon Debug, use her effect to search. We will grab ourselves my favorite card in the deck, Microcoder. He's the best one. He's just the best. We're gonna link Debug for Balinx. This is very important, not just for the Dynamiscus, but it gives us an extra potential awesome card to put back off of Sanctuary. Should be to keep all of our draws off Phantasme, kind of making him a +2 if you think about it that way. We'll use Spinny to bring himself back. Then we will get to work here. I think we take a Microcoder and Balinx for Code Talker. This will trigger Microcoder, and we're looking pretty good. We're gonna grab the Conflict. I feel pretty confident about that. That feels pretty good. Then we're going to take Spinny and Code Talker into transcode. We'll transcode back the regular Code Talker, and then we'll set set, and pass. And this is pretty good. I mean, all things considered, I really like what I'm looking at here. Code Talker's 2300, and while he's pointing to a monster, he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So even if you think like, oh, I'll just walk over the 2300 one, not the 2800 one will be good, you can't. He won't be destroyed there. So actually pretty good. So he's untargetable and indestructible right now, and then transcode's just untargetable and 2800. So that's pretty sticky. Oh, that gets banished, by the way. And then down below we've got a Dinomischus, a Cyanite Conflict, an Ash Blossom, and a Phantasme. And keep in mind, the Sanctuary, while you think it's just like a useless card most of the time, it's actually really nice to pair with Phantasme, because when you Phantasme, even if just say your opponent has 2 cards. Well, we draw 2, we just have a guaranteed easiest choice of my life, put the Sanctuary back into the deck. I know something has to be a Dinomischus discard, but imagine if we drew Sigma or Dotscaper or anything else that doesn't mind being in the grave. Like, that immediately becomes your discard, and we're feeling pretty good about it. And going into your next turn, you've got 28 plus 23, so it's 51, 61, 71. You have 7,500 damage already, and then, you know, obviously you have draws off Phantasma, you're going to have a top deck, and you can see what other, engine cards you might be able to pull to try and push. So very, very simple, very more control-y hands so far, but I'm not opposed to it. I actually like that about the deck, is you don't have to go combo. It's kind of like the first hand, but this one was a little better just because of the mining. If it doesn't resolve, like I said, you're just going to play defense with the 3 defensive cards you drew, and that usually slows your opponent down for a turn. See what you draw on the following turn. You still have Spinny, which means Spinny and Grave, which means you only need 1 decent card off the top. Like any Cyberse monster that can be summoned essentially will make it work, and you're able to play. So all right, next up, hand number 3. I'd like to see a more combo-y hand, just to be able to show you like a good instance. Now we're doing all these test hands going first. I mean, I could try and do that in the future, is try and do a specifically going second test hands video where we put up a specific board and do our best to, you know, break that board with what we have. But those are always different, because those are always tough, because it's hard to say what each individual player would fire certain disruptions at and all that. But we could still try and do it just to have the theory out there and show you guys how the deck does playing second. All right, here's our next hand. Ooh, finally. Okay, this hand can play for sure. We've got Dotscaper, Codec, Strike, Buster, Reborn. This hand looks really nasty. Gotta say, I'm not sure if it's full combo. We're gonna have to see as we go, but we'll go as far as we can and do what we can. So obviously we start here with our best normal summon, Dotscaper. Woo! We'll link them off for Banelinks. We will get the search, and we'll trigger Banelinks. So we'll protect Dotscaper from getting hit with like Ghost Spell, I guess, or what, Skullmeister. DD Crow can still hit. Then we're gonna grab our Sanctuary. Where's it hiding? There we go. Free card, free real estate. Gotta love it. From here, we're gonna activate our Cyanite Codec. Do not forget to activate this at the best points. We'll take these 2 into our first Code Talker. We'll use its effect to Codec's effect to search. This can be Ash. This can be Ogre. Can be tough, but that's about it. If we get Ashed here, we're actually like dancing. Like, we're feeling really good. Because our opponent's just going neg at this point, and there's been nothing great to Ash. So I'll grab Microcoder. That's going to get us another Negurtion, which we like. Definitely a fan. Let's see. Then I and I like D-Grade Buster. There's a lot of matchups that you don't realize he actually has some good interactions with. Stuff like Dragon Link, you can hit the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, just clear it off the field so it doesn't get to reborn anything, which is actually surprisingly good, because they have to go technically -1 just to summon him, and then you banish him, so it actually is pretty decent there. Okay, what are we doing here? I think the basic move is to just straight up go with the Microcoder already. Yeah, we'll go straight up Microcoder for transcode there. I think that's probably correct. Yeah. We'll trigger Microcoder Chainlink 1 and Codec Chainlink 2. If they want to Ash the Codec at this point, we don't care. We're going to get a counter trap. We're going to have disruption no matter what our opponent does at this point. So we will the conflict, and we'll grab the generator too. This is gonna, if you don't go through generator early combo, always grab this unless specifically the Gachiri has like a benefit over generator, because he's worth 2 bodies while Gachiri's worth 1. So both great extenders, of course. We'll use transcode here to revive our regular code talker. So that's pretty simple. What do I do from here is the question. Ooh, we can, okay. I think I'm gonna try and do that. You don't get to do this very often, but I think this is pretty good. We'll take generator with our code talker to make Xcode. Then we'll do chainlink 1 generator, chainlink 2 codec, and then chainlink 3 Xcode. Guys, please do not forget to do Xcode. I have forgotten to do Xcode before. Oh, actually, it doesn't even matter because we're gonna link him off, but still, I actually ended on a board this weekend. Forgot twice to lock down zones, and it was against Infernoble. Infernoble needs all of their zones, and so like it would have crippled him and his ability to play, but I forgot because I'm a dope. Okay, let's do this though. Generator is going to dump a thing. We already went through Dotscaper, so that's kind of annoying, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. We'll dump Spinny this time. Then we're going to use Signet Codec, and we're going to search. Oh, I kind of went backwards, but that's okay. We're blocked anyway. We'll grab a Parallel Exceed. I actually went to get the hollow Parallel Exceeds, and then I realized that they're OTS, so they're like $9 to $10 a piece. I was like, oh, so I'm going to hold off on that. Hate it. Okay. So, oh shoot. Okay, never mind. We're good. I think. We're gonna use Monster Reborn here, and I like saving Monster Reborn, but I do think for this hand we can go pretty far, so we're just gonna kind of ball out here. I'm gonna revive the Dotscaper just in case, because if we do get like Nibiru at this point, he'll actually give us a 2100 booty at least, so cool. So we'll revive him, then we'll take these two into Firewall Dragon, which will then allow us to trigger the Parallel Exceed in hand. So we'll summon the Exceed, and then we'll use Exceed to summon the other Exceed from the deck. Bloop. Next. Oh, I did goob for sure. Ah, sheesh. Okay. Yeah, I definitely flubbed up. I went like through a weird sequence. Well, it's because I opened Dotscaper. If I didn't open Dotscaper, this would have been a lot cleaner. So the problem I'm running into here is I wanted to use Monster Reborn to just revive the Xcode. So I wanted to summon Firewall here and then put Xcode here with Monster Reborn. That way, Firewall can't be destroyed or targeted. It'd be 3,500 and it'd be double co-link, so it'd have the double bounce. It's not the end of the world. Definitely not the end of the world. It would have been a little cleaner, but because I went through Dotscaper, I had to send either like Spinny or Mathmech Sigma, and Spinny just needs the alleyway opened up by going into a Balinx first. So unfortunately, that is what the problem I'm running into here. It's not the biggest problem in the world. I'm just gonna take, Exceed into a Balinx, then we can use our Spinny Engrave to come back. And I haven't used Splash Mage either, which is very important here. Yeah, so we'll make Splash Mage. We can use, Spinny will be banished. We'll use Splash Mage to revive another guy. We'll probably go Exceed again just to get stats. If we do get nibbed here, we at least get a total of 3,000 defense there, so at least get a nice booty. Yeah, this is not what I wanted. Oh man, because of that, just because we opened Dotscaper. So you definitely could have held some cards back here. But I might as well just play through it. Like I said, you could have stopped a while ago and just ended Firewall, Transcode, held a bunch of cards in hand, and still ended on like multiple disruptions. But we're still okay here. It's not the end of the world. What do I want to do here, man? This is so weird. That's okay, that's okay. It's so bad, I guess. Okay. Let's just go into Trigate. We're not gonna make him amazing, but he's fine. Then we can, actually, we're gonna take this guy. Might as well keep the one with the stats. And then honestly from here, I'm probably just gonna set cards. I'm gonna banish 2 from grave, an Exceed, and a, ooh, maybe that's decent. Okay, yeah, let's go Dotscaper for D grade, and then Dotscaper actually comes back. Forgot about that. And now we could end access code, but I just don't want to end access code. I always like saving access code to be able to make it on a following turn, like always. So there, it's really not that. I can't triple co-link I could potentially put something there. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do that. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it does boost our options a little bit further. Also, we can trigger codec here by putting inverted there, so that we can get ourselves a Lady Debug for a pretty strong follow-up play. So we'll have Debug and Sanctuary in hand. And that's going to do it. Like I said, guys, this was kind of scuffed. I was kind of trying to figure this out. This was a weird hand. You could have stopped on Firewall Transcode and just had, like, the bounce there. You'd have at least 2 other disruptions, and you'd have, like, a hand. You would have had, like, 4 or 5 cards in hand, which is really good. And you would have ended on D grade as well. So here's what we end on officially. You have a triple bounce off of Firewall, which is insanity. Trigate's fine. We can try to, if we have enough link materials and they don't prioritize outing the Trigate, you can obviously try to double co-link it, so then you have the free banish. If they kill everything but transcode obviously gives you the reborn effect. And we still just have Solemn Strike, Signet Conflict, triple bounce, and the banish of a high-level monster. Like I said, there's weird interactions like Dragon Link, where if they have to open black metal, baby black metal, you can banish the Red Eyes DM there, which is really cool. So still not a bad hand. I just had to figure it out as we went, just because that was kind of a weird one. They've all kind of been little weird ones, except for this. The second one was okay. Like, that wasn't too strange, but still figuring it out, doing pretty well here. Where are we at? 22 minutes. Let's do one more test hand for you here today. I like that one because we got, like, pretty combo-y with it. Lets you really see a lot of, like, sequencing and making decisions on what to send, what to go for in certain situations. It's still fairly linear. Obviously, things get a little more complicated when you're worrying about playing into back row or certain decks and worrying about hand traps. Nib is a pain in the keister for sure, but, you know, what are you going to do? All right, let's do our one last test hand here. Let's see how she goes. I mean, I wouldn't say we bricked on any of them. Like, obviously, we had the one hand where we lost to Ash, but other than that, you know, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We still had, like, 3 disruptions, and that's why you lose to Ash in, like, any hand, is because you have just, like, 3 interruptions in hand. All right, here is our opening hand for the final one. Pretty nice. Okay. So it's a little awkward. We're gonna have to like eat a bullet and discard something. We're gonna have to take a bullet here. So we're gonna have to Signet Mining, and we're gonna have to discard the Ash here. Solemn Strike is just way more powerful than Ash is. If it's not game 1 and you think your opponent's siding like back row hate for you, then you would keep the Ash because you think it's a little more safer of a disruption to keep, instead of potentially getting the Lightning Stormed for your back row, or, you know, heavy Harpy's Feather Duster. So I'm going to keep the Psalms, though, because I'm assuming this is game 1 going first. No siding or anything. We'll pitch the Ash because I want the Exceed for an extender. We will then search our boy Debug, of course. I mean, if you don't have Debug, you're almost always searching Debug. Debug, normal summon effect. Here, we're going to just go for Disruption here, as we normally do going first. We're going to grab the Microcoder. Kind of stinks that we couldn't get to Sanctuary first before using Signet Mining, but it is what it is. We just didn't open another card that allowed us to put a monster on board. So we'll just go Banelings now. We'll just get that out of our deck so we don't have to worry about it anymore. There we go, Sanctuary. We'll also, ooh, do we even... No, I think it's safer to just like leave it where it is. But we can take Microcoder and this into regular Code Talker. Here, we'll use microcoder to search out our other trap. Silent conflict, very important because now it means we don't lose to Harpy's Feather Duster or Solemn Strike or anything. So that's why this is still fairly safe. You have one blanket save from that, and then the strikes just become like your disruption of their like actual plays. From here, oh, don't forget we're going to chain block this actually. So you actually chain block the Search of Coder by using Exceed. So we'll summon Exceed and then we'll use Exceed's effect. Almost forgot that. Please don't forget that, guys. I'm you know, it's early-ish for old John, so trying to do this right. We'll get the parallel Exceed and then the second parallel Exceed. And from here, pretty simple. Ooh, do we do that? Because that changes things a little bit. I think the correct play, actually, just to be as most efficient as we can, just to make Splash Mage here. Then we'll use Splash Mage to revive. Yeah, this is definitely it. Because this gets us a 2 Firewall by doing it this way. So we'll Splash Mage back the debug. Actually, just do Parallel Exceed. If you get, like again, I keep saying this, if you get nibbed, like you want to summon back the biggest things, that way you at least have like a bigger booty. We've all seen those games where like your opponent summoned a nib too big for them to handle because their hand's awkward, or you opened hand traps too, and you're able to just like hold it down, so might as well. Then from here, we take Splash Mage and our new Exceed into Transcode. Gotta summon him down here because the Splash Mage would be blocking his zone to summon to, so you gotta summon him here. Still code length, same thing. Then we'll use Transcode's effect to reborn the Splash Mage, and now we are free to make us a Firewall Dragon. We're gonna finish up by just setting 3, go bloop, bloop, bloop. And we're gonna pass. So on that hand did not look all that impressive, but Parallel Exceed plus Debug does get you this kind of shenanigans. At least gets you Conflict Firewall with like obviously the targeting protection and buffed by 500, but we just happen to draw the double Solemn Strikes. If only we could have gotten to Sanctuary earlier, we would have also been able to keep the Ash in hand, but that's not the worst thing in the world. I'm not gonna cry a river over that. I think I'm still pretty happy with a bounce, an Omni Negate Banish that they can't activate cards with the same names for the next 2 turns, and then double Solemn Strike. That's pretty damn strong. We've got, you know, 5,800 damage on board, and we draw Debug for turn. Filthy. Disgusting. Disgusting. So yeah, really, really good. Also keep in mind, a lot of people don't realize this, but I've done it actually, I think, twice now, where your opponent forgets that Firewall can bounce anything from hand or field back to the, bounce anything from field or grave back to the hand. That's what I meant to say. So sometimes if your opponent just like tries to pass on you and they want to like play it safe, you can just go like, Firewall, bounce Lady Debug back to hand, or Microcoder, just bounce like an extender or a starter back to hand, and now your opponent's like that. It also can be used to recycle something like an access code we only play one of, so if you needed the second one, you could like, you know, shuffle it back. I have needed the second one. Not that I've been able to make Firewall to do like in that kind of situation, but it can come up there. So yeah, that is our last test hand. I think all of them went fairly as well as I expected. I've seen people as of recently somewhat leaning more towards the like hard Ibly lock version. The idea is you end on like Firewall while giving your opponent Ibly. A little more consistently, you just kind of play Ibly at 3, so you just have like a much more consistent time of seeing her and setting up the lock on your opponent. With Firewall, it's just so busted, right? You just bounce their normal summon and they just like almost can't, unless they're playing specifically Lingaribo or Balinx, they just like cannot out the lock, and yeah, they will lose on the following turn. It's crazy. Kind of cool, kind of thinking about that. I might make a version specific to the Ibly lock, but obviously I'll just have to keep doing testing. This version still has been working out really well for me, so I can't complain too much, but I'm not opposed to looking at something different. So hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comment section down below what kind of other Code Talker content you would like to see, because I love this deck and I'm down for anything. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff from me in the future, and see you in the next one. Peace.